You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You shouldn't doubt yourself, 'cause you're a work of art. You should know that you are perfect with those flaws. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Know that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine, shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Shine. Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine, shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine.
Well, hello everyone. I'm Carissa Wiley. Welcome to my craft room and welcome to a special Carissa Crafts Live. I'm so glad you are all here today. I know it's a Monday, but what better day, what better thing to do on a Monday than to craft, right? So we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna look at some new cardstocks from Spellbinders today. We're gonna swatch them. We're gonna look at all the colors, maybe see how they compare. We might get into some crafting, but I'm not real sure. It just kind of all depends on all of you and the questions that you have and kind of how this goes. But before we get into that, if you would all just give this video a thumbs up, you can share it, you can text it to a friend, whatever. I really appreciate that. And of course, if you are not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of my paper crafting, card making, and live stream card making sessions here. My friend Mindy just popped in. Hey, Mindy, how are you today? For those of you who do not know, if you're over on Instagram, you probably know this already. It is my 24th wedding anniversary today. Yes, yay me. And yay my husband, yay Mr. Glitter. 24 years at about, it's almost, we got married about 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday, and we had cake, and we skedaddled. We got right out of there. It was a small, low-key wedding in my parents' backyard. 40 people total there, and most of them were family. But we had a beautiful little wedding. It rained on our wedding day. That's considered good luck. I don't know how much I believe in luck, but I definitely think that God has been with us through it all. And we've walked through some hard times, as I've mentioned, but we've been through some sweet moments together too. Erica says, hey girl, hey, happy anniversary to you and Mr. Glitter. Such cute photos. Thank you so much. We were babies. Thank you all for the anniversary wishes, but we have some crafting to get to. So Mr. Glitter's at work, and I thought this kind of video might be a little bit better in kind of a live format, because then I could really answer your questions as they come up. We could do some comparisons. So be sure that if you have a specific question, type the word question in all caps in the comments over there so that I can see them and kind of pick them out from all the comments. But the new ColorWheel Cardstock from Spellbinders is available today. Now, I did not see this on the website, but Spellbinders sent me 248 assortments. So I have 2 sheets of each color of cardstock. We're going to go through all the colors. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks for how I like to swatch. You can see I've done some swatches already, but we're going to look at their new Petal swatching system. I've been doing a lot of die cutting as I was attending a staff meeting on Zoom today. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's not for my hospital job. It's for another, it's for my church. I'm on staff there. So anyway, I was doing that during the Zoom meeting, and they understand that I work very many things. So they're okay with me doing that. Anyway, so we're going to look at those things. We may get into crafting. I'm going to kind of go all over the board and do a few things, and I'm going to show you a few things that maybe you wouldn't think of when swatching, but that's the gist of it all. Anyway, I think I was saying they sent me 2 of these 48 color assortments. I do not see these on the website yet. Also, any of the bundles that they do have that were in 8.5 by 11 seem like they're sold out already. Oh, wait, what's happening right now? I don't know what's happening with my camera, but that was weird. Anyway, the bundles in the 8.5 by 11 seem like they're sold out, but if you want to purchase 12 by 12 and cut them down, they do have a full assortment bundle there. They're available in individual packs of 10 of each color. I'm going to show you some of my favorite colors because I definitely have some favorites. But let's get into it, right? I mean, we're here for this. This is all 40. I think there's actually 47 colors. I think there were meant to be 48, and they did not launch one of them. That is my understanding. But you can see as I quickly kind of swipe through these, there is a beautiful array of reds and oranges. There's some yellows. There's some really unique colors like this cinnamon. We have beeswax, saffron, terracotta. The greens, these are the greens here. Peridot rainforest fern, mint, and then we move into this. This is one of my favorites, and the camera doesn't do it justice. This is called Seaside. Some of these colors were available from Spellbinders before, and some of them are new. So it's kind of a mix of bringing in more colors to their already existing color family to kind of round it out. Now, here's another one of my favorites, Oceanside. It's so beautiful. It's a little more tealy than what it's picking up on camera, but we can do some comparisons. I'm going to talk about my labels, how I cut down these swatches, and all of that in today's video. And that's why I said I don't really know where we're going with this, but we're going to talk about what you guys want to talk about. So you can see we go into the blues, the true blues. Look at this fairy tale color. This is about the lightest purple I've ever seen, and it looks more purple on camera than I think it does in person. Super beautiful color, but orchid, mulberry, and violet. Now, if I were to pick purples, these are some of my favorite kinds of purples. So beautiful. And then, of course, we move into the neutrals. Acorn is a really unique, like taupey brown color that I have not seen anything like it from any other company. And then of course we have, you know, grays, black, white. So that's a quick look at all of the colors here. And then also out today, they have like this Petal swatching system. And then there is kind of like this create your own color combo wheel situation. I should have probably looked at what it's called. I didn't look at what it's called. But I have both of these linked in the YouTube description below. I also have all of the cardstocks linked in the YouTube description below. And if you click the link that says visual supply link, these will pop up and you'll be able to see those colors, how beautiful they all just kind of go together. It's so cool. But first of all, I wanted to tell you, I told you that I got 2 of each color, right? 2 8.5 by 11s. I figured that would be enough to get a taste of these. And what I did was I started out with one of these packs and I trimmed them down into 5.5 by 8.5 sheets. And so far I have created these swatches, and all of these little petal pieces. And I still have cardstock left over on 1/2 of the 8.5 by 11. So I've not even used 1/2 of each color yet. But I wanted to show you how I did that because, and there's been some questions about how this is, because people saw it on my, I'm going to go to the overhead because I'm going to stand up and then I'll be out of frame and it's not going to make sense. So some questions on how on this We Are Memory Keepers cinch stack cutter, which I used today. This guy he's big. He's big. Anyway, but I wanted to show you how I cut these down because people have been asking me, does it do a good job? I actually think this does a really amazing job. This is a huge, heavy duty cutting thing that you would not use on an everyday basis. This would be like something that you're going to cut down a ton of paper or cardstock all at once. And so I used it today for the first time. I cut these into 5.5 by 8.5, and then off of that I cut my 2x4 swatches, which is what I've been doing most often, and then I labeled them, and we'll talk about that here in just a moment. But I thought what we would do is just trim these down into a 4.25 by 5.5 so I can show you how this works. So this, like I said, is a big dude. He is hefty. He weighs a lot, but if you want to cut down a bunch of cardstock all at once, I'm finding that it works really good. So I'm moving my guide over to the 4.25 inch mark because we're going to cut these in half. And then there's a wheel, which you cannot see. And I don't think there's any way I can get this all in the frame. I mean, so there's this wheel that opens and closes the little guard. I have that all the way open. Let's get this back where you can see it. So I just turned it all the way to open, and that's going to raise the guard on the inside that kind of keeps everything still while you do your cutting. Now, in order to put my paper in, I do need to raise the blade. And so there's a little safety lever that I have to push to open that up. And then I'm going to slide all of this cardstock in. This is 48 pieces of 100-pound cardstock. So this cardstock from Spellbinders is a nice heavyweight cardstock. 100 pounds, it's smooth on both sides, 300 GSM. It's a beautiful, nice weight cardstock. It's perfect for card bases. It's perfect for card panels. It's perfect for die cutting. Okay, so now that I have it in there, I'm gonna turn that wheel on the end until I feel it close down on my paper, and it will tighten up. And what that's doing is that's holding that in place so that this doesn't wiggle around. You wanna make sure you have everything kind of pushed in there and straightened up. And then that wheel clamps down like a guard that holds this all in place. So you can see I'm pulling on it, you can't get it out. So once I have that in place, then I can use the little safety lever it's red, it's down here. I'm gonna have to pull that down, and then I can just pull this handle down. And I just cut through all 48 pieces of cardstock at once. Now, for those of you who want to know how accurate it is, I mean, I think part of that depends on how accurate you are in setting your guard. But look at this. Oh, you know what? Did I cut that wrong? I surely did. No, that doesn't make sense. Hold on. Now I have to figure out what I did because I just cut all of this down. I have to move my trimmer out of the way. I just cut all of this down and it looks like it's off. The cut is very straight. But let's see what I did here. 4 1/4. That's so weird. I'm like, literally, I did this earlier with the 8 1/2. It was perfect. Okay, so I had my guard off. Oh, I put my guard at 4 1/8. So that's what I did. Anyway, so if you do your guard correctly, which I'm sorry my dogs are barking right now. They've been locked up for a couple hours while someone was here doing work. I actually had my guard set to 4 1/8. So now I have 2 that are off, but you can see my cut is very straight and beautiful. So just make sure that you check and double check. Measure twice, cut once. That doesn't bother me because I can still use these. And now I have like die cuttable size cardstocks. So anyway, isn't that just like doing something live? But you can see beautiful cuts. Okay, so once I do that, so I used that trimmer to cut all 48 pieces. You can see that they are beautifully cut. And these are 2 by 4. So once I did that, then I took my Brother P-Touch cube, and this can hook up to your phone or to your computer, and I made labels. So these are a white printing on clear label paper or label tape, and then I just labeled all of them. So I've gone through and I've labeled all of them. And I do this with all the brands of my cardstock. So I've linked to those things in the YouTube description below, just so that you know how I've done this all. Also, I'm still dying at the fact that I had my measurement off. I had it at 4 1/8 instead of 4 1/4. Now I know what I've done. So just be careful when you're doing that you, like I said, measure twice, cut once. So I do this with all of my cardstocks. I have my Alta New cardstock, I have my Concord, and I have my Spellbinders here that I just did today. So that's the way that I most often swatch things. But Spellbinders has released this Petal swatching system, and I did a ton of die cutting today to get this kind of ready to go. And then what you can do is you can trim out your colored cardstock, and there's a backer piece available for it. So then you would just trim out your backer piece as well. And then there's coordinating stamps that go on the bottom. They're in alphabetical order, which I might have put them in, color order. I'm just saying. On the backer, it's just alphabetical order, but I may have done color order just to kind of help people organize. And then there is also like a reinforcer on this. So if you want to cut this, I did not cut these. I just didn't have time. And then you can just put this on there. This die creates like a little scored mark where you'll line up the bottom of your petal with this backer piece. You can just kind of put it on there. All right, and then you can stamp. Hi, Mandy, welcome. Okay, so what questions do you have? What do you want to know? What do you want to see with this cardstock that will kind of help you understand it a little bit better? I need to know what you all want to do. We can craft. I have a card planned, but we could also just, talk about it, have a little chat on this very fine Monday. It's actually very chilly here. I'm a little chilly today. I know that will not surprise any of you. So I'm going to ink this up, and this is the poppy color, and just stamp that along the bottom. Now, what you may want to do is you may want to stamp these like before you put your swatch on there. And that way, if you mess up on your stamping, then you haven't, you know, ruined your swatch completely. So let's go to Pomegranate next, because that's our next red. And we will stamp right below that scored line that the die creates. We'll just black ink Pomegranate, just like that. And then we could add this on there. So, Carrie wants to know, can you foil with their new cardstock? I thought their previous cardstock was smooth enough to foil. So I do believe that this is a very smooth cardstock. It feels very smooth, and we can try that here in just a moment, because I brought out the stuff to foil today so that we could really test it in that area. Kelly Wicker wants to know, what's the thickness of the cardstock? It's 100 pound or 300 GSM. It's a nice thick cardstock. I would say that I think it would make a nice card base. And I do believe that it die cuts really well. As you can see, I've been die cutting it all morning. So this third color here is Cranberry. I'm very sorry that my dogs are talking about things that are going on the outside today. But I just didn't feel like I could leave them locked up for another hour while I went live, because they had already been in their crates for like an hour and a half. So, so this is Cranberry is my next one. And there's a nice range of reds. There is a beautiful range of pink, and I have this color palette all planned out, like this rainbow themed color palette for the card that I have planned today. So you can see how these will go together nicely. And then you could put them on a ring. Now there are rings on the Spellbinders site. I currently have some in my drawer, in my stash from Amazon, and those are linked in the YouTube description below. But there are also, if you want to like do one-stop shop, there are some binder rings on the Spellbinders website that you can pick up in different colors. There's like white, black, and one other metallic color. Question, do you prefer your original swatching method or the new Petal swatches? So I think that these Petal swatches are nice and beautiful. It does require a lot of die cutting, whereas my original one, I can just use my trimmer and do that. So that is why I actually went ahead and created them so that they would be kind of the same as the other ones that I already have. And also with that We Are Memory Keepers cinch stack cutter, this went so fast. But if you like the look of this, if this is something that, you know, is cool and aesthetic to you, I think that's great. Here's the other thing I would consider. The other thing I would consider is you have the stamps that match the Spellbinders colors that kind of curve for along the bottom of this, but you wouldn't be able to get other manufacturers like, you know, curved name stamps to put on there. So it's totally up to you. I think that this is a beautiful thing, and I think it's fun to kind of create other like shapes out of this, right? So you could use the shape on a card and create a really fun like part of a flower or something like that. So anyway, it's totally up to you. I just wanted to show you this option because I think it's nice for people who maybe want to do that kind of die cutting and that sort of thing. Now, the other thing that you can do is this other one kind of creates these swatch kind of palettes. Okay, so Brenda wants to know, I'm late and hoping this didn't already get answered, but is this replacing the existing Spellbinders cardstock? So here's what I can tell. What I can tell is that some of this cardstock already existed. So some of these colors, like I noticed teal topaz and waterfall, dahlia was an existing color, as well as Tuscan. I'm looking at my Spellbinders on the shelf over there. So several of these cardstocks, Rainforest, Peridot, already existed within the Spellbinders family. They just went in and kind of filled in their palette and made it more comprehensive. So that's what I can tell from what I'm seeing of this palette of their new cardstock. But it is great cardstock. It's high quality. We are going to foil on it in just a moment. So we'll get to that. Now, I'm going to use some colors here. I'm going to start with, this is called Wild, do I want Wildberry or Dahlia? Let's go with Wildberry here. You can line this up. So this is kind of a way to track color palettes that you might like. Now this one is one of my favorites. This is called Chiffon. Do I want to go with Chiffon? I don't know, because I only get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's skip Chiffon and go to Bellini. I'm going to make like a rainbow palette here. I do love their cardstock. I've always loved their cardstock. I have always felt like they've had good quality cardstock, but some of the colors for me were missing. And so now that they have a few more of kind of colors that I feel like I would use more often, I'm really excited about all of this. So this is called Sicily. This is a really unique color. It's very like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like blushy, but also like, I don't know. This is called Beeswax. So this is a beautiful yellow. And then we need a green and a blue. So let's go with Fern. I believe this is called Fern. Let me look. Fern, yes. Julie says she likes the idea of swatching each company in a different shape. Yeah, I mean, I think that it's totally, you have to find, I've always said this about organization and things in your craft room. You have to really figure out what works for you. And if you're someone who likes things to be uniform, then go with something that's uniform. If you are someone who likes, you know, a variety, or you like, you know, to have it mix it up, then this is fantastic. Now this is Oceanside, so beautiful, but these colors are just absolutely beautiful. So I heard, Linda says, I heard that this was replacing their old cardstock colors because they couldn't get stock in and only some of the colors were being kept. So I would say that they do have, so like Blue Spruce was one of my favorites before. This, and I think this is one of the ones that they were having a hard time getting back in stock. So they've either gone with a different mill or something, but they're bringing back some of the colors that they had before. And like I said, just rounding out the palette. So anyway, maybe they went with a different manufacturer. I'm not really sure. So I don't have all the deets on that, but I just know that this is, so far, has been a great cardstock. So this is Wildberry, Bellini, Sicily, Beeswax, Fern, and Oceanside. And I want to show you this Oceanside because I know we're familiar with some other brands of cardstock. The one that I tend to use the most would be Concord and Ninth, and you've probably seen it all here. It's a little bit like, this is Peacock, this is Oceanside. It's a little more blue than Peacock, but it's definitely different. And you can see, you'll see throughout the palette, it is different than other palettes that are out there. This Bellini color is absolutely beautiful, but I still think it's different than Nectar. It's a little more pink than Nectar. So while there's colors that feel similar, they definitely have, you know, difference. So I hope that helps. Now, let's do some foiling because That's a big question for me too. And I'm doing this all live for the first time. Oh, and by the way, you could go in and stamp all your things on this, and then you could use this on a card, or you could use this and just keep it for your reference. So anyway, I just wanted to show you what's available out there so that you could kind of make your own decisions, you know? So let's do some foiling. I'm going to allow my Glimmer hot foil system to heat up. If you have questions, let me know. I think overall, this palette and this cardstock is a big win. I think that Spellbinders has done a great job of just kind of getting the, like they said, the whole color wheel on here. So I think that there's some really unique colors that I can't wait to use. So anyway, this cinnamon color is very unique. It's in their orange family. I don't know what is happening with my camera today, you guys. I'm sorry. It keeps like doing the weirdest things. It's in the orange family, but it is like, it reminds me of something you might use for like a fox. It's like a brown orange. Linda what says, I wish they would let us buy sample wheels of cardstock. I hate to cut up a perfectly good piece of paper for a sample. Well, I showed this earlier. I actually took one whole package of these. I cut them down into 8.5 by 11, and I got all of these out, and I still have big chunks of cardstock. I have not even used a half sheet of cardstock for all the swatching that I've done today. So for me, to have this on hand and to be able to quickly look and see what color I want or build a palette from these, it's worth it. I still have plenty of cardstock here where I could do some die cutting and create some strips and that sort of thing. So it's up to you. Not everybody wants to swatch and not everybody wants to use their cardstock for that. But I find when I'm creating that it's helpful for me to have things like that on hand. And in fact, we'll just go ahead and use, no, we're going to use a sheet. We're going to use a quarter sheet. Let's use, I really want to use this, let's use mulberry. And as I'm feeling this, it's smooth on both sides. It feels really smooth. I think it's going to actually foil really well. So, you want to do that? No, we don't want to do that. Let's not do that. I'm going to create a background for a card in case we create a card today. And so what I'm going to use is this seaside color. Now there's two that are very close in color. This is mint and this is seaside. This seaside color, I can tell, is going to be a favorite of mine. In fact, there's a few colors that I will probably go over and order today. The seaside would be one of them. The ocean side would be one of them. The chiffon would be one of the colors that I'm probably going to order more of. The Sicily color is one that I think I would order more of. I really love this mulberry and this violet color. I think those are beautiful. I could see myself using those a lot. Those are probably the ones that stick out the most to me. So those are the ones I think I'm going to probably start by ordering more packs of. I have, of course, a full 8.5 by 11 of each of these left because I haven't even busted into my second thing yet. But anyway, so we're going to create a background because we may create a card today. I'm not real sure, but I'm going to just, this is my sparkle background. This is from the Shine Bright collection. And what I will do is, since I totally did not do this, I did not cut these correctly when I cut them all in front of you. I think it's hilarious. Actually, I think I want my center point to be up a little higher. So let's just do like there-ish. And what we'll do is we'll create a hinge. Kathy Zilski's here. Hi, Kathy. Thanks for stopping by today. I know this is such a weird time, but it's what worked for me today. I mean, we all have to do what works for us, right? So I think I'll just do there-ish, and then I'm going to hold this in place with a little bit of the Spellbinders Best Ever Craft Tape. And I'm making a hinge so that we can do a background. We're going to do this twice because we want to see how this paper foils, right? I think one of the most challenging things is finding a cardstock that foils well, a colored cardstock. I have white cardstock that foils like a dream, but sometimes finding a colored cardstock that foils well is a little bit more challenging. We're going to use the Glimmer Prism foil, which is like this beautiful holographic. And what we will do is we have this kind of already flipped up on our hinge, and we're going to just, I like to kind of retract it back a little bit so that the tape is exposed so that I make sure that I get my foil all the way up to the line. And then, so I have my foil tucked onto the pattern. So the pretty side of the foil is touching the pattern of my plate. And then I'm going to lay this with this plate face up onto my Glimmer Hot Foil platform. And then I am going to press the timer. Now, normally I would just heat up my plate and then put my stuff and then transfer it all. But because I need this to be perfectly positioned, I'm using the hinge method. Carrie says it's helpful for me also to swatch for choosing color palette, one of the best things I've done. Question, are there any tricks to matching cardstock to Sarah Clark color cubes? I, Brenda, do not have Sarah Clark color cubes. I would say that if I had them, what I would do is I would pull out my color cube and I would pull out my swatches of cardstock, and I would just kind of like look at them and see what looked the best. That's how I would do it. And if you're someone who just uses their cardstocks, you could mix all of your swatches in together. So you could put these all on one ring, and then I have who it's by and the name of the color on each of the pieces of cardstock. So you could keep all of your swatches on one ring. So, okay, so our timer's done. I'm going to stand up for just a second. So I'm kind of at the top of my little window here, but I'm going to run this through my die cut machine. And we will see how this foils. Oh, man, I don't know what's going on, but my cameras are doing weird things today. Okay, so this is Seaside again, and this is hot. I'm just gonna set that aside for just a second while we pull this off. I'm leaving you in suspense for the big reveal, and let's see how we did. Oh, yeah. That foiled really well. You see that? It's beautiful. Beautiful. It's a nice smooth cardstock. Okay, so now I'm going to reposition this. We're going to foil again. I do not love to put tape over my previously foiled piece, but we may have to do it for this. Let's see. So we'll do this. Just kind of lining it up, and we're going to hinge it up again. Throw another piece of foil in there. And put this down. Now, this time it does look like I could have either used a little more heat or a little more pressure on certain areas. So this time, I'm going to throw just an 80-pound piece of paper between my shims and put this in. Martha is from Norman, Oklahoma, and that is where my son lives. So, hey, Martha, welcome. So we will set the timer. We'll let that go and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I do think that it is, I get spot on results with my Concord and Ninth white cardstock for foiling every single time. Like, it is down to a science. I do know that I felt like from the beginning that my sparkle background foil plate needed a shim. So I've been using a shim with that from the beginning. So I got good results on my first run through, but I think I can get better results with a little more pressure. Foil is one of those things that there's two factors really that are going to determine your success. One is enough heat and two is enough pressure. So it's usually, if you're not getting good results, paper is a big factor too. I will put that in there. Usually if you're not getting good results, it's one of either heat, pressure, or paper. So just like when you're coloring with like alcohol ink markers, you need the paper matters, and foiling paper matters. So let me take a quick drink. My electrolytes are in there for the day. We're going out to a fancy dinner tonight. So I'm excited about that. Okay, so we have our additional shim in here this time. It's a lot of pressure. Definitely feels like a lot of pressure, maybe too much pressure, because this is a 100-pound cardstock after all, but we'll see what we get. Okay, what other questions can I answer for you guys about this fabulous new cardstock? I want to make sure that we're addressing all the things. Ouch, that's hot. Okay, yes. So that little bit of pressure did make a difference and gave me a little bit better. Do you see how I have some skipped areas up here? But on the bottom, I have some really beautiful. So I just needed a little shim to get like perfect results for the second time. So it's not so bad that I don't feel like I can use it. But that's the sparkle background that I released last year with Spellbinders, along with all the disco themed products in the Shine Bright collection. I'm going to set this aside and we are going to probably turn it off, although it is making some nice heat in here. And then let's do a little die cutting. So we've foiled, let's die cut. I got a little line in my cardstock from the plates there, so I'm just fixing that with my Teflon bone folder. Okay, so this is the side that I used the shim on that we got great results. Hello, Tina, welcome. You're late, but it's okay. We're here. Oh, the other thing that I have left over besides all that cardstock that, you know, like the scraps, because we were talking about, I've gotten a lot out of this cardstock so far, are these little tiny guys here, and I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet. But I think what we will do is just die cut the words Shine Bright, and I have my palette picked. So my palette is going to be, let's see, Wild Berry, and then Chiffon and Bellini, and Beeswax, Fern, Seaside. Let's see, I took a picture of it earlier. I have to remind myself. Also, I wanted to tell you guys while I'm looking up, oh, no. It was, no, I have this wrong. It was Bellini and Sicily. Going backwards. Now we're going to get everything out of order here. Bellini, Sicily. I wanted to tell you all that I will be live tomorrow over on the Pink Fresh Studio YouTube channel. I'm also going to be live on my channel. I'm going to create with some products from Waffle Flower. So, and then Beeswax was a yes. Fern, Seaside, Waterfall, which is this one, and Oceanside, which is this fantastic one here. And then we have Orchid and Mulberry. So that's like my rainbow palette that I created here with these new colors. So I'm going to just fan this out so you can see these colors together. Brenda says, questions, stencils usually use a 6-inch piece of cardstock. Is there a way to cut the paper more efficiently? Well, if you're not going to use the full 6 inches, then I would just cut it into 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I would just stencil that part. If you're going to use a full 6-inch piece, then you could consider buying 12 by 12 cardstock, which they do have in this ColorWheel family, but it just kind of depends. Like, if you're not going to use the full 6 inches on your card, on your finished card, then you could just cut the panel at the size you're going to need and place the stencil on the center of it and just stencil what you need. Another question. Oh, that's the same question. So there is my little rainbow that I created, and I thought what we would do is just kind of die cut the words Shine Bright out of these different colors of cardstock. And I don't know, we might just trim off little squares of it and do it and kind of work towards creating a card here. So I have these little areas here that can easily be trimmed out to use for a little letter, since we only need, you know, just a little bit. My dogs are talking again. So, did you all watch the Super Bowl? What did you think? Did your team win? Did your team not win? Did you care who won? I didn't really watch the game, quite honestly. I'm not, sometimes I watch football, sometimes I don't. I didn't really pay too much attention to the game yesterday, but I definitely had a team I wanted to win. So, okay, we're almost there, guys. Hold up. Isn't it, these purples are not normally my thing, but let me just tell you, these purples, they're doing it for me. I have to tell you that. Okay, so we're going to go with the S, and we're going to go with the T. We could probably cut a few of these at once. In fact, S, H, I, N, E, B, R, I, G, H, oh, S, H, I, N, E, B, R, I, G, H. Am I missing the color? I am. I thought I had this counted out. So, well, we may have to throw another color in here. We're going to see. Let's do this. H, I, N, E. Question. I know there are different ways to track inventory, such as app spreadsheets. Just wondering what your process is tracking the inventory you have. I have zero time for tracking the inventory that I have. If it's a paper, I just like look at the shelf and I'm like, ooh, I'm low on that paper. So that's kind of what I do for paper. I don't really have a way of tracking that. I just kind of look and I keep things by company, and I just look and see what I have. If I don't know, I'll like look in my stamp drawer and say, oh, do I have that or not? So that's kind of how I do it. I just, I don't have a whole lot of time for like tracking inventory. I just kind of, I have ordered multiples of certain things before because, you know, I didn't know I already had it, so that's kind of how it is. I need one more color. S-H-I-N-E. B-R-I-H-T. Okay, we're going to pull in another color here. We might pull in, let's do something. Well, it either has to be, let's see, this is really bugging me that I thought I had counted this out properly and I did not. Let's do a pink. It's gonna mess up my shine, but that's okay. So we're gonna pull in Dahlia, which is this color here. And we'll have to recut. The E will be actually the B. The green will be the B. So I'm gonna make this H. And then the green, we'll get a little piece here of fern, and we'll do that for the B. We may not put this all together, but I just kind of wanted to create something while we're all chatting about these various colors of cardstock. And now I can't find my little fern piece. Let's see, we'll just do this. Okay, a softer green. Here's the deal. I agree with you, but the greens, I really feel is the area they could expand. I could add the mint, but it's so close to the seaside that I'm like, I don't know. We could go with rainforest here, which is this one, or peridot, rainforest. We could go with rainforest. I don't know. We could use, let's bring in a green. We'll just do this one. We're gonna make this the B. We're gonna make this the I. B. And the E. I-N. No, we can't do both. I'm not going to do that green. Okay. We're going to get this. We're going to get this. We're going to get there. Okay. Missing the sage. Yeah, I feel like the place that I would expand this palette first would be the greens. Hi, Amanda. We're just doing some die cutting right now. We're chatting about this cardstock. B-R-I-G-H-T. Okay, so we have those. Don't need that. That's an extra. So we need the I from this color. And E. And we'll do the E from the yellow. We'll do both of those at once. This is a lot of thinking. That's a lot of thinking. And then we need the R from this and the G from this color, which is that ocean side. So pretty. Okay, careful. I think, no, because I took out the, I think I'm good. I think I'm good. Tina says she thinks I have an extra color. I think I'm good. We'll see. I'm trying to keep track here. You know, it's just paper. I. E. This is going to be my N, will be the Sicily color, which I love. This is just such a unique color. I do want to show you because I think that people, it is different than Sorbet from Concord and Ninth. So you can see it is a very unique color. It's different than anything that I have for sure. It's one of those that I have originality points for sure, and it's something that I really do love. It's like you could do some very like kind of desert kind of color schemes with that. Could see. Where'd my G go? Oh, it's on the thing still. Okay, G, H, T, and then we need the I out of this. And I think this is our last run through with the various colors. So we did it. We've made it. What die cut machine are you using? I am using the Anna Griffin Empress Elite. I did do a whole live stream with the Elite and unboxing it and that sort of thing. So if you go back on my YouTube channel, you can find that and rewatch that if you care to see that. But the Anna Griffin machines are some of my favorites. I've purchased all of them with my own money. Nothing was sent to me by them. And I love them. I've been using them for years now, and they are my favorites. So, okay. So isn't that cute? Isn't that happy? I love that. Okay, such happy colors. All right, what else can I answer for you all? We're gonna make a quick card with the Shine Bright dies from the Shine Bright collection. This was part of the Weekender event last year at Spellbinders. So have that there. And like I said, when we started out, I really wasn't sure like what we would get to today, what all we would do. So I'm just making a card as we chat about these new cardstocks. I'm looking through my little scrap drawer here for some vellum. I do have my scraps organized by type because I do find that that helps me just pull out little things here. What other questions can I answer for you all about this new cardstock from, not from Concord and Ninth, oh Lord, from Spellbinders, my brain. So I have the shadow layer from Vellum. I have not used this collection in quite a while. I'm so excited to be using it. And I'm going to grab some quickly. I am going to grab, if you're late, you should go back and watch from the beginning when we're done, because I did share some information at the beginning on how I swatch and all of that. Right now, we're just kind of making our way through a little card project using some of my favorite colors from this new ColorWheel collection. I've grabbed some foam strips here. These are from scrapbook.com. I'm going to add these onto the back of my letters. I know this is tedious, but I'm a tedious kind of girl. Anyway, we talked about the We Are Memory Keepers cinch stack cutter, which I use to cut all of my swatches here. And I'm gonna just fan this out so you can see. It's a really nice rounded out color palette here. My dogs are talking again. When I say my dogs are barking, it is literally that my dogs are barking. It is not my feet hurting. I'm finding more and more, we're going out to a nice dinner tonight and I'll probably wear heels, but I'm finding more and more, my goodness, I can hardly wear heels anymore. They just, my feet hurt so bad. Is that like just for those of you who are more advanced than me on the age spectrum, can you just tell me, is that that's just part of what happens as you gain wisdom? Like your feet just hurt more? Is that what happens? Juju, welcome. Are the new colors available in a multi-pack? There is. I did not see an 8.5 by 11 multi-pack on the site. However, I did see a 12 by 12 multi-pack, and then there were some partial packs that had several different, like the warms and the cools and that sort of thing. Those were sold out at like 7 o'clock this morning when I was putting my link list together. So those have been sold out for a minute, a hot minute. There was like a rainbow pack, a cool pack, a warm pack, that sort of thing. I did not see an 8.5 by 11 multi-pack. I suspect that's probably coming. I don't know why it's not out today. I don't have the answers to that, but you can buy these in packs of 10. And if that's not something that you want, something that you can do is you can buy like packs of 10 and split them with somebody else who might be interested in trying them out. So that would be an idea. Saw you're using your smaller plates for your Empress Elites. So the Empress Elite, depending on where you buy it, comes with the large plates and what are called the small plates. The small plates are what I'm using today, which is closest to like your standard cutting size plate. I do not prefer to use the large plates. Every now and then I will pull out my large plates for my Anna Griffin machine because I'm cutting like full sheets of cardstock and tons of dies at once, but I usually use either the mini plates, which are about 4 1/4 by 6 or 7 inches, or the plates that I'm using today, which are called the small plates, and those are about, they're about 6 by 9-ish. I go through all that in my video on the Empress Elite, like all the sizes of plates and all that. So Patty says she's all about comfort, no heels for her. You know what? I feel like I love to feel feminine. It's just part of who I am. I love feminine things, and it's getting harder for me to wear heels, but I love the way I feel when I wear them. So Jen says, thank you for showing the cinch. She's thinking about getting one. I'm going to tell you, it's a big dude. He's a big dude. He's heavy. But and I don't keep him in my craft room all the time. I keep him in another room because it is so big and it's not something I would use every day. But for cutting like big stacks of cardstocks or cutting a ton of like card fronts all at once or card bases all at once, it would be like a time saver. If you're someone who kits, I could see using it a lot as well. I was like, curiosity killed the cat for me as far as the cinch stack cutter. And I will tell you that I bought it partially because I print my own planner inserts. And I thought it would be nice to have to trim down all of my planner inserts because I use like a half letter size planner. And I thought it would be great to have it for that. So I kind of did a dual purpose, and I've actually been really happy with it. So like I said, it's maybe not practical for the everyday crafter, but it does have some uses that I have found are beautiful. And when you set the measurement correctly, like I did not do in the beginning, then it's even better. Okay, so I'm just adding these letters onto the shadow layer with foam adhesive so that they have a little bit of lift to them. And I don't know that I'm loving this on this seaside background. I might change out to a white background, but you can see that these colors are fun. Okay. There is a black and a white in this color palette as well. So it's very well rounded. Some people like to use just like one company's stuff and like not venture out from that. This is a beautiful palette. It's a nice big palette. It's got 48 colors in it. So I could see like if you're just, you know, kind of going to do the one palette thing, that this would work really nicely. Oh, that's so fun. I kind of like it on the white. So we might just save this for another card, for another day, and put it on this white. Jen used to wear heels, but she gave them up for her knees. You know, I did hurt my knee a couple of years ago, and sometimes, yes, your knee does bother you when you're wearing heels. So. Brenda, I have certain pants. Brenda says, I wore heels for years because I didn't want to hem my pants. I have certain pants that I definitely need to wear heels with. That's just how it goes because they're a little too long for me. So I get that. I get that. Yeah, it is. Jen's talking about the cinch stack cutter. It's big. I'm not going to lie. I just like, I don't keep it in my craft room because it's too much. I keep it in my son's room. He doesn't live here anymore and he has a desk in there. So I just put it in there. And when I'm not using it, it's out of the way. So if you don't have an extra space to store it in, I mean, it's a bulky piece. So if you don't have extra space, I would say it's definitely not a space saver. Let's do that. Okay. And I'm thinking what I might do is see what I have in my stash as far as some disco balls or something like that. And we might just add a disco ball. This is also from the Shine Bright collection. These are the layered disco impressions press plates. So with a press plate, you can actually, you can do letterpress, or you can do hot foiling, which is what I've done here. And maybe this one has holographic, so we'll use that one. We'll die cut that out and we'll put it onto, actually I kind of like the silver. Let's do the silver. We're going to cut one of these disco balls out and put it on with our Shine Bright and keep it real simple. My goal here, honestly, is just to give you a look at this. I wanted to give you a look at the cinch stack cutter because a lot of people had questions. But I really do want to be honest. I love it. It does do great things, but it's big. Linda says she loves how she feels in heels too, but arthritis in her foot and can only wear certain shoes. Yeah, I have a feeling my day is coming. I don't feel like I'll do a whole lot of walking on our dinner out tonight. We're going to a nice restaurant in town, and I don't feel like I'll do a whole lot of walking, so I'm not too worried about that, but I think I'll be able to survive. I wore heels to church yesterday, and my calf was hurting today. It was the weirdest thing. And the last thing I wore super high heels to, like, should never have done it. The last thing I wore it to, I regretted it for a while. So I'm learning my lessons slowly but surely. Okay, so the only thing I think I'm going to do with this is take and just add an additional layer to this to bring this up a little bit. Maybe do some texture or something. Okay, so 4 1/4. This time I'm measuring correctly. Let's go to 4 by 5 1/4. So it's a little bit smaller than our card base because our card base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So here's the deal. Here's something that I think is overlooked in a lot of crafting. Like, I think you do need a good trimmer, right? But you need one that's like all purpose. Like that one that I just used, that's one that I use all the time. And so you need a good trimmer in your stash, but maybe you don't need a giant one. I don't know. Depends on what you do. All right. So now I'm going to add this on to my card front. And yes, you can kind of see the foam a little bit. But when you get it on the white card base, it kind of tends to disappear. So then it doesn't bother me so much. You know? You know? And this Layered Impressions disco set, the Layered Impressions disco balls that I'm using, it does have a coordinating stencil where you can fill in some of the areas that don't fill in with the press plate, but I kind of like it on its own sometimes too. I go back and forth between using the stencils or not. So we're gonna just tuck this guy up under there, okay? And let's add some foam adhesive behind this panel. So these are the foam panels that I make myself. So I just grab some foam tape off Amazon, or not foam tape. I grab fun foam off of Amazon. It's like a pack of 9x12 fun foam. And I take the 4-inch adhesive tape from scrapbook.com and I put that on the back and create these large panels that I can then use on the back side of card fronts. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab some silver cardstock to mat that, because I think that that will really bring it to life and make this card feel complete. And then I'm going to add some sparkles to the front. So what questions do you guys have? Everybody's jumping in on the heel conversation. So this is going to be 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And they told you you wouldn't use fractions. Yes, my friends, you do use fractions. Okay, yeah, that's gonna be nice. So take that off and put that onto the mat there. Give it a little bit of shine underneath, make it feel a little more complete. This is super simple card. Did you see that? I love all the dimension though. And we will add some tape runner to the back of this. And place that onto the card front. Scoochy a little bit over. Okay, there. And let's finish it off with some sequins, shall we? I think we shall. Can't go away without a few little sequins on the card. Just will make it feel so extra sparkly. I feel like we're seeing you more, which I love. Are you still working as a nurse? I am, Erica. You are seeing me more. I am working still as a nurse, but I am even more part-time than I was before. So I have reduced my schedule to be able to grow my business and do more here. And so, yes, you are seeing me more. And I am doing my best to juggle all of it still. Thanks for stopping by, Jen. She has to pick up, I can't see because my cursor is in the way, from childcare, and we're going to craft together. Have a good night, everyone. Awesome. Sounds like fun to me. Okay, so let's do this. I have my Perfect Picker tool. This is from Altenew. And we'll add a few little sparkles there. Bring this one in. It's feeling a little disconnected. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I think we're good there. We're gonna grab our liquid glue and put that all. I hope you will all set your reminders for tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific time. I'm going to go live and we're going to create. Also, you can join me if you want to over on the Pink Fresh Studio YouTube channel tomorrow. I will be live over there at noon Central, which is 10 Pacific. And I will be creating a card there using some really fun products from the new release. I'll also have a pre-recorded video for you tomorrow. So there's a lot going on here this week. I also am probably going to go live on Friday of this week. We shall see. But there you have it. Aren't these colors gorgeous? So we have Wild Berry, Dahlia, Bellini, Sicily, Beeswax, Fern, Seaside, Waterfall, Oceanside, Orchid, and Mulberry. Look at that. So much fun. Love these colors. I am loving this cardstock. I pulled it out this morning and I waited till today so that I could just kind of get my feels on it and just kind of do that. But let's fan it out and we'll go through these colors one more time before we go. Again, this is all the new Spellbinders ColorWheel Cardstock. It's a 100-pound, 300 GSM smooth cardstock on both sides. It's perfect for card bases and for die cutting. It die cuts beautifully. We did do a little foil test. It foiled very nicely. And so if you're looking for a colored cardstock to foil on, I would say that this is probably going to be one of your best bets on the market right now. So we have Poppy, Pomegranate, Cranberry, Blush, Tutu, which I think is a fun color, Dahlia, which we've used here. We have Wildberry, which we've used here, Merlot, so a nice rich dark red. This is Chiffon. This is one of my favorites, y'all. I'm going to use this a lot, I can tell. Bellini, Coral, Sicily, we've used that here today on our card. Carrot, Terracotta, Cinnamon. The Shine Bright collection's on sale. I didn't even know that. The Shine Bright collection's on sale. Go grab it. Go grab the disco balls and stuff today. There's Beeswax, Saffron, Tuscan. This was one of the colors that was available before. Peridot, Rainforest, Fern, Mint, Seaside. I love this one. Waterfall, Teal Topaz, Blue Spruce, Breeze. Ugh, we're getting tight here. Malibu. This is a beautiful blue. Oceanside. This is a favorite of mine. Windy. Beautiful, kind of a little more cool blue. Cascade. Celestial. This kind of feels very denim-y to me. Cosmic Sky. Indigo. Fairy Tale. Love this for a purple. Lavender. Lilac. Orchid. Favorite. Mulberry. Favorite. Violet. Alabaster. Fawn. Acorn. Truffle. Fog. This is a beautiful gray. Anchor, Raven, which is their black, and Classic White. Juju wants to know, did you make these flip cards or buy them? I made them, and if you go back to the beginning of this live stream, I show you exactly how I did that. So there you have it. So there you have it, a look at the brand new Spellbinders ColorWheel Cardstock, 48 colors available over on the Spellbinders website now. I have it all linked in the YouTube description below, and I just want to say thanks in advance if you use those affiliate links that I have there. I really appreciate it. We're going to go back to the side by side here and just say goodbye. I'll answer any last questions that you may have. But like I said, go back to the beginning if you joined in late, because I talk about all about how I created these swatches, how you can create the Petal swatches from Spellbinders, which is a part of this new collection as well. You can see I can put all the rest of these together today. How you can create little color samples that you, I lost it, may want to kind of keep your color palettes in line with the little ColorWheel swatching system. So we went over a lot at the beginning of this video. We talked all about this cardstock, and then we made this fun little card here. So if you have stuck around to this point and you've been here the whole time, thank you so much. If you wouldn't mind giving this video a thumbs up, sharing it, commenting, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications here as well. I really appreciate that. I don't see any other questions coming through, but I'll be kind of hovering in the comments to see if other questions come through in the comments. I'm happy to answer those there. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day. Thanks so much for stopping by and hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe and turn on the notifications here on my YouTube channel so you don't miss any of my card making and paper crafting video tutorials. Thanks again, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.